What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about Final Destination Bloodlines in this video here today. So Warner Brothers Cineacon panel is currently ongoing at the time of this recording, and they just got done showcasing something related to the upcoming 6th entry in the Final Destination franchise, which you know will be revolving around this college student whose grades aren't that well named Stefani. She's learned that her grandmother, named Iris, Esther, whatever, many years ago saved a bunch of people from a tower collapse, and this seems to be all connected to the previous 5 films. And yeah, it's like a main event blockbuster celebration legacy sequel of the whole franchise. A nice bow on top of it, if you will. And during Cineacon, they went ahead and decided to showcase one of Stefani's relatives dying and how they die, after previously going out of their way to make it seem as though, wait a minute, is it going to be there? Is it going to be here? Actually, no, it's going to be here. We've now pinned it down for you so you can know ahead of the film. Why they did this, I don't know. I get that you have to entice your audience, but yeah, a bit of a strange choice. The scene itself is being praised online. I'm going to get into it and share all the specifics about, not all the specifics. I'm just going to get into who they actually revealed dies and how they die. Now, I will preface this by saying again, if you don't want to know who I'm talking about, then you shouldn't be watching. But if you are watching still, you probably don't care. You probably saw all the discussion about it on X. You don't care about spoilers, and that's why you were here waiting for the video to drop anyway. So Cinema Blend, shout out to them, that they had the best description for me to go off of. It's like, okay, that's a green light to talk about this. So they highlighted what the footage showed. It said the conversation shifted to New Line with Final Destination Bloodlines. They jumped right into a full clip from the film, and it's definitely in the whimsical tone that we're used to from the nostalgic beginning of the franchise. Despite the fact that our characters are facing death, there were a ton of laughs, which lines up with the fact that I've heard this movie is quite silly and a little bit more on the humorous side. It says the clip even ended in 2 big violent deaths that are reminiscent of the franchise. What happens when you put a guy covered in piercings in front of a super magnet? A lot of blood happens. It was glorious. Now, Derek, a tattoo parlor individual, one of Stefani's cousins, is the one covered in piercings. We've been learning about this slowly over the last year at this point. I've talked about it countless times. And they have done such a good job playing up the fake out elements in these 2 trailers we've gotten. Because with the more recent trailer, people were just, you guys were wrong on both sides. You were wrong. Well, there were some individuals, but for the most part, people were wrong. People were so set on the fact, well, oh, he's not going to get hit by that truck because he's going to have to now die in the tattoo parlor when it catches on fire, because of the fact that, well, he's talking about his father dying in the first teaser we got, and then we see the funeral for his father in the new trailer, so he has to be dying in the tattoo parlor. But he doesn't die in either one of those places, which was brilliant marketing from them. Now, granted, most people, again, probably don't even know about this. They're still being faked out, and they're going to be surprised. But showing how he died at Cineacon, why? Why did you do it? It was so brilliant how they were not showing you where he died. And now everyone who has heard about Cineacon, everyone watching this video, yes, Derek is going to be killed during an MRI sequence. And some other descriptions of this sequence involve his brother Bobby, who has a peanut allergy. They're basically trying to cheat death, come up with a way for someone else to take their place. There's talks of them trying to, I guess, get a baby involved in this. A lot of weird things to try to just get out of this, which doesn't work in their favor. The peanut allergy for Bobby comes into play. There's a wheelchair that basically sends Derek into the MRI machine, kind of just crushing his whole entire body, things like that. But yeah, that is where the tattoo parlor individual is going to die. They're going to die in an MRI sequence with their brother Bobby after they lose their father, of course, earlier in the film. So he's not going to get hit by that truck. He's not going to get hit, or not get hit, but he's not going to die in that tattoo parlor scene. And you might as well just talk about it at this point, because the fact that it's out here in the view for everyone to now consume. He's gonna die via an MRI scan sequence that is pretty intense. I will say that. From the details I have, it is pretty intense. Might be some genital stuff involved for any of my guys out there. What I was told and how it was described, it sounds very painful. And yeah, I'm not necessarily looking forward to seeing that part. But in true Final Destination fashion, I'm sure it will be a crowd-pleasing moment. So I will say this about Derek. There is still a very important thing about Derek that has not been revealed. Since they wanted to reveal that he is dying and how he dies, there is still at least one thing you can expect that will be a twist related to Derek in this film. Nothing to do with his fate, just something to do with his role in the narrative that gets flipped on its head compared to everyone else. That is all I will say. And for those of you who have been studying the film left and right, you obviously know what I'm talking about. I'm just not going to spell it out for everyone who is oblivious and they can be surprised. But there is another twist that you can expect related to Derek, even though they wanted to spoil that he's going to be dying via an MRI scan disaster at this Cineacon event. Discussing Film actually came through with a banger description of this footage. In summary, it says the clip opened on two brothers in a hospital, one tall, blonde, and one alternative looking brunette with piercings. Just like other victims in the franchise, these brothers are cursed and must either try to cheat death or kill someone else to avoid a grisly fate. After weighing their options and deciding they're above hurting the newborn babies, the older brunette brother devises a plan to exploit the blonde brother's peanut allergy and revitalize him last minute with an EPI pin. There is a tense fake out as the brothers struggle to get a stuck peanut butter cup out from the hospital vending machine, but they end up getting what they need despite breaking the glass and loosening the metal coil. In a rush, they enter an MRI room and accidentally turn it on. While the blonde brother eats the peanut butter cup and has an allergic reaction, the brunette brother refuses to give him the EPI pin so that he can use it at the right time. But as the MRI's magnetic power levels increasingly get higher and higher, the brunette's phone slams into the MRI's manual override and things get violent. The brunette's piercings are torn off his body. The wheelchair behind him pushes him and crushes him into the crevice of the MRI machine. The blonde brother reaches for his EPI pin and manages to jab himself before a nurse opens the door and asks him if he's okay. Then the coil from the vending machine pierces his skull. It says the footage is a perfect mix of camp and genuine horror, showing a confidence in the revival of the Final Destination franchise. So there you have it, folks. That is what will transpire between Derek and Bobby in Final Destination Bloodlines. I feel like they should have just shown something from the opening sequence, especially considering that we still have not gotten all the specifics on how exactly they're going to dive into Tony Todd's background in terms of William Bloodworth. I've been sharing all the rumors with you guys. Those of you who have been listening, you know exactly what they're doing. I feel like they could have just shown a clip like that. Shown something building up to that tragedy at the Skyview Tower, showing us a little bit more about Stefani's grandmother, her grandfather, and a big revelation that transpires between those two in the opening. So yeah, they could have just done that, but they decided to lean on the MRI scan and reveal that Derek, who was already led to believe to be faked out in a tattoo parlor and a garbage truck sequence, now confirmed that, well, he is going to die, but it's not going to be in either one. He's going to be killed by an MRI scan disaster. Let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. In the description, I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there's any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.